In a small town where shadows clung to secrets and whispers spread like wildfire, young Tim couldn't shake off the tales about Hawthorn Cemetery. For generations, the graveyard had been the breeding ground for myths and ghost stories, and Tim had heard them all. From eerie lights to disembodied voices, Hawthorn Cemetery was the place people avoided after sundown. Yet, Tim felt an unexplainable pull towards it. On the eve of his 16th birthday, that attraction became unbearable. Armed with a flashlight and clothed in bravery, or perhaps foolhardiness, Tim found himself standing at the iron gates of the cemetery, peering into the enveloping darkness beyond. The clock tower in the distance chimed midnight. Tim pushed the rusty gates open. They creaked, as if protesting against this midnight intrusion. He walked in, his footsteps muffled by the thick grass and fallen leaves. Ancient tombstones jutted out from the earth like crooked teeth, and twisted trees seemed to reach for him with skeletal fingers. Tim wandered deeper into the cemetery, guided by an instinct he couldn't understand. After a few minutes, he found himself standing in front of two graves, side by side, adorned with wilted flowers and faded photographs. Tim's heart skipped a beat. He recognized the names engraved on the tombstones, Olivia and Joseph, his deceased grandparents. Suddenly, the flashlight flickered and died. The darkness swallowed him whole, leaving him disoriented. Before he could panic, a soft glow emanated from the graves of his grandparents. Tim squinted and saw two ethereal figures rising from the ground, translucent, but undeniably familiar. "Grandma. Grandpa." Tim's voice was barely above a whisper. "Hello, Tim," Olivia's spectral form spoke softly, radiating warmth. "We've been waiting for you." Joseph nodded, his face kind, just as Tim had remembered. "This place isn't as frightening as people make it out to be. Sometimes, it's merely a bridge between two worlds." Tim felt his fear ebb away, replaced by a comforting calm. "Why am I here? Why now?" "Life is full of crossroads, Tim," Olivia began. "Tonight is one for you. You're not just here for yourself, you're here for your family, alive and beyond. You're at the cusp of adulthood, and it's time for you to understand the legacy you carry." Joseph continued, "Our family has always had the gift of mediumship, an ability to connect the living and the dead. It skips generations, and you've inherited it. But with this gift comes a choice." Tim listened intently, aware of the weight of this revelation. "What choice?" "You can choose to embrace this ability and learn to use it for good," Olivia explained. "Help people find closure, relay messages from the departed, or even assist spirits stuck between realms. Or, you can decide to walk away, let it be dormant, and live a life just like anyone else." "Why can't I have both?" Tim questioned. "You could," Joseph said. "But every choice has a cost, and embracing your gift would mean walking a path less traveled, one that's not without its challenges. People may misunderstand you or even fear you. However, the rewards, helping souls find peace, would be immeasurable." Tim felt the weight of the decision before him, aware that it was a lifelong commitment. "We won't force you," Olivia assured him. "This is your path to choose. We'll love you regardless." In that moment, surrounded by the serenity of his grandparents' love, Tim made his choice. "I'll do it. I want to help people, living or dead." Olivia and Joseph smiled, their forms glowing brighter. Then it settled. "We'll guide you, but remember, the journey is yours to undertake." As they spoke these final words, the glow began to fade, and the figures descended back into their graves. Tim's flashlight flickered back to life, as if spurred by a newfound energy. As he walked back towards the gates, Tim felt a surge of purpose he had never felt before. The cemetery no longer appeared as a daunting maze of sorrow but as a sacred place connecting two realms, and he was its newest guardian. Tim knew his life had just taken an irrevocable turn. It wouldn't be easy, but it would be meaningful. And in a strange, inexplicable way, that was comforting. He left Hawthorn Cemetery that night not with a sense of fear but with a profound understanding of his place in the great tapestry of existence. And so, the young medium's journey began, under the watchful eyes of his ancestors and the enigmatic aura of Hawthorn Cemetery.